You're welcome to our diplomatic show today, one-on-one with the Ambassador of United Republic of Tanzania to Nigeria, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Benson Alfred Bana on Diplomatic World TV. My name is Tolu, Ayodele, your host on the show. Before I start with the Ambassador, in case you don't know much about the United Republic of Tanzania, Tanzania is the 13th largest country in Africa. When it comes to tourism, Tanzania is one of the best places to visit in Africa. Tanzania is located in East Africa. The capital city is called Dodoma. When it comes to hospitality, trades and investments, good food like seafood, please visit Zanzibar in Tanzania. Official language is Swahili, an English language. The highest mountain in Africa is located in Tanzania, which is called Mount Kilimanjaro. The currency they spend in Tanzania is called Tanzanian shillings. Talk of wildlife, Tanzania has the largest concentration and diversity of animals in Africa. If you have not visited the southern and western safari parks in Tanzania, you are missing something. What about the Mahale Mountain National Park, where you see chimpanzees in their human nature? All of this in Tanzania. Africa is definitely blessed. The name of the president of Tanzania is Her Excellency President Samia Suluhu Hassan. The name of the prime minister is His Excellency Kassim Majaliwa. The United Republic of Tanzania is blessed with a population of 63.59 million people, according to the 2021 statistics. Today, having with the crew of the Diplomatic World TV is the Tanzanian High Commissioner to Nigeria, the one representing the President and the good people of Tanzania in Nigeria, His Excellency Dr. Benson Alfred Bana. Thank you for hosting us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
First and foremost, can we meet you, your full name, your background? Have you represented your country in other countries of the world before you came to Nigeria? Let us know much about you, sir.
Yes, my name is Benson Alfred Bana. I am the High Commissioner of the United Republic of Tanzania to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is my 4th year in Nigeria.
Wow.
And before I joined the diplomatic career, I taught at the university, I worked for the private sector, I consulted widely for the World Bank, UNDP, Belgian Technical Corporation, and the other multilateral organizations of the international stature. So I am a full-time student of diplomacy, much as I'm a full-time student of political science. So in Nigeria, I am happy because I get what I want in terms of expanding my mental horizon and my experience with the outside world.
So, how do you see Nigeria compared to other countries of the world?
Nigeria is a great country.
Wow.
In different dimensions. You look, it's the most black populous country in the world. Nigerians are terrific people, marvelous people. Wow. You name it. They think big and they do big things. Those are Nigerians. Nigerians have invested heavily in their human capital. You interact with everybody. Is rich in knowledge, in experience, and the competencies. Nigeria is a special country in Africa. I normally call Nigerians, and Nigeria in general, is our big brother. It's a role model. You cannot talk of Africa without mentioning Nigeria. Nigeria represents almost the whole of Africa. With your enormous population, almost 210 million plus, you are everywhere in the world. I was once discussing with the chairman of NIDCOM, Madam Dabike. Dabiri. She told me that Nigeria in diaspora number about 25 million, and the remittances back home is extraordinary, is huge, complementing the economy. And Nigeria is special. Some of us admire Nigeria, for me, because of two things. The way you have developed human capital. You have a quality population compared to other African countries. That's one. You go to Yoruba land, a household are 3 professors, 4 doctors, and you are everywhere. You are not abroad doing shoulder jobs. You are abroad as a super specialist, top-notch lawyers, and you name it. So to us, Nigeria is a special country in terms of investment in human capital. And that's what we learn from Nigeria, for us who are coming from elsewhere in Africa. You have invested heavily in education. I was told this year, before His Excellency Buhari handed over power to His Excellency Tolu, that Nigeria has 222 universities, and each state has a university or universities.
Yes.
At the federal level, there are several universities. So your desire, your commitment to invest in human capital is exemplary and extraordinary on the African continent and elsewhere in this globe. And the second thing which is admirable is the way you have been able to integrate strategically modern institutions and traditional institutions. The institution of the Esama, the Emir, the Oba, they exist side by side with modern governance institutions. And that is great. That is a blast. Wherever you go, I now know. I look at the people, the way they are wearing their hat, I would tell, this is Yoruba, this is Igbo, this is Hausa. You have been able to defend, to preserve your traditional heritage. And that is a plus. And that is something that we miss out in other African countries. So when we say you are great people, you are really great.
Thank you so much, sir. That takes me to the next question. Your country, Tanzania, is one of the unique countries in Africa and even in the world. Talk of the Mount Kilimanjaro, the Zanzibar, the wildlife, and the parks. Are you taking advantage of these endowments and tourist attractions to increase the internally generated revenue of the country, just like Dubai, Mauritius Island, and so many other tourist countries like that? So are you taking advantage of those endowment of your country to increase your IGR?
You have said it all. Tanzania is the home of the highest mountain in Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro. Tanzania is the home of Serengeti, Ngorongoro, and the beautiful sandy beaches of Zanzibar. So in terms of tourist attractions, Tanzania is the best, is number 1 south of the Sahara. So tourism is our large foreign exchange earner, and the government is doing terrific in terms of promoting tourism. Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, last year spent much of her time to serve as a tour guide, recording the royal tour film, which has attracted a lot of viewers on both sides of the Atlantic, the United States, Europe, Asia, China. We are doing terrific. And our aim at this moment, by 2025, we should at least receive 5 million tourists. At the moment, the number ranges between 1,800 to 2 million. But we are sure that by 2025, we're going to reach the target of 5 million people. And above all, in Africa, in West Africa, in ECOWAS countries, Nigerians have found Tanzania as their tourist destination.
Wow.
The statistics are available. By last year, we received about 70,000 Nigerians who visited Tanzania as tourists. And the aim, most of them, they want to travel to Zanzibar. And some have even bought holiday homes in Ifumba. So when it comes to tourism, we are investing every day, and we are also attracting investors. We are also wooing investors to think of investing in Tanzania. And I am glad, and I have to say that last week I met the owner of Ife, who is also interested to invest not only in oil and gas in Tanzania, but also in real estate and the other tourist attractions like golf course, hotels, supermarkets, and conference halls, and the like.
How does it feel to have a female president in Tanzania?
Oh, it was great. Tanzania believe in gender mainstreaming, in gender equality. That's one of the pillars of good governance that we embrace without any apologetic tone. We are glad that we have Madam President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan as our president, as our leader, as our role model, as our pace setter, as our iron lady. She has done terrific. She listens, very humble, but strategic in terms of championing the cause of developing Tanzania, in terms of championing the cause for coexistence, safety and security, harmonizing the country. She has come out with the philosophy of 4 R's: reconciliation, reforms, dynamism. She is leading our country in a manner that is extraordinary. She has made a difference. For the almost 2+ years she has been in office, she has been an asset for the country. And we pray for a continued effort to transform the country, to move Tanzania from its current status to an advanced status. And she's not new. She has got the qualities of the best leader. She's a really transformative leader. I'm not saying this because I am her appointee. No, that is the reality. And she's not new in government. She is an experienced lady in terms of lead government. Tanzania is a complex, like even other African societies, it's a complex society. But she has been able to defend the central values that Tanzanians cherish: our peace, our unity, our stability, our security. She is doing terrific, and they really admire her. I have attended several occasions where she was invited to address. Everybody would like to interact with her, and she never lets us down as her representatives. When His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was being inaugurated on the 29th of May this year, when I sent the invitation from the highest authority in Nigeria, she didn't turn it down. She came. She had a busy schedule. She had a lot of things to do, but she said, "No, I'm coming." And I was glad and more than happy to receive her at the Abuja International Airport for the inauguration ceremony. So she is really a Pan-Africanist. She is friendly, and she is looking forward to even doing better than what she has already done for her motherland.
Yeah, thank you. So, do you think we have other nations like Liberia who has the opportunity to have a female president? Do you think that can be replicated in Nigeria? And do you think for a woman to be a president is better than
Nigeria?
What is your opinion about that?
That's $1 million question. It all depends. In Tanzania, we have made it a practice. We pursue affirmative action, positive discrimination. So we took measures and decisions to promote the women, taking into account the historical background of our colonial heritage when it comes to the child girl. So we made bold decisions. They have a place in parliament. And I think now they constitute about 36 or 7% of the entire parliament. We took deliberate measures to ensure that they are also accommodated in positions of decision making in parliament, in local government council, and even in appointments. You have a good number of women in Tanzania who are in the cabinet, in top government positions, in the civil service. So that was a deliberate measure that the ruling party system undertook to promote the cause of women in order to attain gender equality. So our president, she did not just appear in a vacuum. No, she was deputy speaker of the Special Assembly, which was looking into the possibility of writing a new constitution. Then she was appointed a running mate of His Excellency, the late Dr. John Pombe Magufuli. They won the election, and their party won the election. She became our vice president. For 5 years, when His Excellency Magufuli passed away on to glory, by constitution, she was a president. And so she had accumulated a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom related to leadership. She is a transformative leader par excellence. So she is not new. And when I was talking to the former vice president, the recent past president, Vice President Oshibajo, Professor Oshibajo, they had met several times. So she has also a network of other leaders to interact with. So I can't say Liberia is not like Tanzania, but they cannot regress. Johnson did a lot. Did a lot. And she paved the way. And even in Malawi, Joyce Banda did a lot to demonstrate to the world that women can do it. Yeah. Women can do it at any position. Now, when it comes to Nigeria, you still have a long way to go, because I look at the configuration of the Senate, the House of Representatives, the governors, the local government authorities. You are still limping. And on that front, you haven't made it. You haven't gone there to match the Tanzania or Rwanda stage. But progressively, you'll get there. It takes. You have brilliant women here. Yes. I remember when Okonjo Iweala, she was contesting for the position of Director General of the WTO. Yeah. You look at her CV. The CV is smiling. Yes. The CV tells it all. Yes. I've interacted with a number of women here. The former Minister of Finance and Planning, Amina. Yes. Pauline Tarini for women. Dabiri Abike. Just to name a few. Wonderful women. They are terrific. Even the First Lady. Even the first lady, even the current first lady, they are terrific. Yes. I follow them in their speeches, in their orientation. You realize that Nigeria has potential to develop women. Yes. And the women, are given chance, they can make a difference. I would have appreciated living in Nigeria with 2 or 3 governors, women. And my neighbor is Madam. She comes from Kogi State. Natasha. Yes, she's terrific. I had a time to interact with her. Very wonderful woman. With her husband. Very wonderful. And she's politically ambitious. Yes. And by orientation, by her political philosophy, she can make it happen. Yes. So Nigeria is very rich, not only in male leaders, but also in women leaders. You can make a difference given the opportunity. I was asking a military friend, a military officer. He told me there is a Major General who's a woman in Nigerian Army. So that's a plus. So you can make it, but you still need to articulate and put in place affirmative or positive discrimination measures to promote the cause of women in governance and in decision-making organs. But Nigeria is Nigeria. Nigeria, you go elsewhere. I have met the president of Nanta. She's a very terrific woman. You go to offices, you go to business communities, financial institutions, you have got potential women who can attract the world and who can make it happen and transform our livelihood.
Even presently, the Director General of the Nigerian Immigration is a woman.
She's currently a woman, yes.
Yes.
I used to work with the Yewande Sadiq. Yewande Sadiq, who was head of Nigeria Investment Promotion Council. She was also terrific. I am told today she's with the Standard Chartered Bank in London. But terrific woman.
So many of them here.
Yeah.
So taking us to the next question, sir. You have 5 years tenure for presidents and governors in your country. So why is it like that? Even in the United States, we have 4 years tenure. In Nigeria and so many other nations, it's 4 years. But why is your own 5 years tenure?
Yeah, I think it's a constitutional requirement. We have been following that pattern since independence. We haven't changed. The tenure of elected leaders, political leaders, is 5 years. We haven't changed. Of course, at the moment, there are debates for a new constitution. I don't know what they will come out with, but provisionally, the provisional draft we had, it also provided for 5 years. We tend to think that 5 years is a period good enough for the leadership to implement its policies, its promises to the people. It's enough. And we have a term limit, 10 years, 2 5-year terms is the maximum a leader can be in office, especially presidents. For the members of parliament, it's still debatable, but we also want to set a term limit. Why should you stay in parliament for 20, 40 years? It's not proper. At least 10, 15 can be good enough. If you have an agenda to pursue, the time is sufficient enough to implement what you believe is right for the development and transformation of your people.
High commissioners and ambassadors are embodiments of peace all over the world. What can you say about the issues between Palestine and Israel, and also the coup that just happened in Nigeria Republic? We have Burkina Faso, the military taking over, in Chad, like that. So what can you say about those issues, most especially in Nigeria Republic?
That's very good. Regarding the Israeli-Palestinian issue, it has taken too long a time to resolve the impasse between. So I believe in the position of the United Nations. They should agree to coexist, to live side by side as state nations without quarrels, without killings. That is the focus. They should embrace peace more than anything else. Regarding what happened in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Guinea-Conakry, and recently in Niger, it's not healthy for Africa. It's not healthy for the world. We need the military to live by its oath. We need the military to respect the Constitution, to defend the Constitution. We need the military to pursue its professional undertakings as specified in the Constitution. Overthrowing legitimate government is not the way to go. Disrespect to the Constitution is not the way to go. So it has happened. But when it happens, we must not punish the people. We must first and foremost look at the root causes of military coup in Africa, especially in Francophone Africa. We must ask ourselves, what is wrong? Is there governance deficit? We should fill the gap. We should ask, what are the root causes? There are external and internal factors.
Yes.
The internal factors are governance deficits. Some of the leaders would like to stay in power for so long. They would like to innovate the term limit that is specified in their constitutions. That is wrong. Some of our leaders go into leadership for self-aggrandizement. That's also not the way to go. They should respect the main pillars of good governance. the rule of law, respect their constitution. Yes, we know that power corrupts, but they should refrain from being corrupted by power. They should respect their constitutions. They should not at all have the desire to elongate the constitution, to manipulate the people, to accept the extension of the term that is specified in the constitution. Changing the constitution is not good for African countries, no. So the second one, leaders come to save the cause. They come to save the people, to help the people develop, to articulate pro-people policies. Now you look around, you pursue policies that undermine the development of the people. You are making the people angry. You have been elected with joy to lead the cause, to transform your society, but you don't take that route. Instead, you start pursuing other indirect directions which will hinder the people. That's not the way to go. But all in all, we know what has happened in Mali. Mali is almost ungovernable today because almost 2/3 of the country, the north, the middle, is not in the hands of it's in the hands of the jihadists, of the militants. That's not the way to go. And Africa should learn to become self-reliant. Whenever you have a problem, you appeal to the Americans, you appeal to the French, appeal to the nations, the United Nations, appeal to African Union, appeal to regional blocs, ECOWAS, and the like. But we start running to France, we start running to Germany, to European Union, to United States. That's not the way. African problems can be solved by Africans, sure, provided they have a will. I really support the position of ECOWAS when it comes to coup d'etat in the region. I support the position of ECOWAS, their resolutions to suspending them from the coupists from the imposing sanctions upon them. That's the way to go. But I don't support the use of force. War is not the way to go. We should exhaust diplomatic means, dialogue. We should talk, create avenues for engaging the coupists, the military leaders, in dialogue. It has happened in Mali. I think Mali by February they will have their elections. They have a new constitution. That is the way to go. I sympathize really with His Excellency President Mohamed Bazoum, but it has already happened. The power is in the hands of the military officers. The way to relinquish power easily is not there. So ECOWAS should go back to books, should appeal better to diplomacy. Diplomacy hasn't failed, and that's why I support the senior Islamic clerics, Muslim clerics, who traveled all the way to Niger in pursuit of a peaceful means. I support the strategies that His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, undertook right away when it happened on the 26th of July, to send a delegation to appeal for the return of the democratic rule in that country, constitutional rule in that country. As a chair of ECOWAS, he did what a good leader is supposed to do. But I tend to think that ECOWAS's resolution, especially the threat to use military force, came before it was required. Dialogue is the way to go. Diplomatic maneuvers is the way to go. That's why we have diplomacy. Dialogue, talk comprehensively until when you reach a win-win situation. But going to war is not the right way. It's not the right approach. A war has consequences.
Yes.
You must have in place the financial muscle to execute the war. the war will have implications. The people will die. Why should the lives of innocent people be lost? Property will be destroyed. We have experience. See what has happened in Libya. It's not the Libya we knew.
Yes.
See what's happening in Sudan. It's not the Sudan we knew.
Ukraine.
Look at Ukraine. Look at Iraq. Look at Afghanistan. We have lessons of experience. So I think that's why they have now toned down. I think our ECOWAS leaders will at one time agree that you can prevent the war, and the only way to prevent the war is to engage in dialogue, is to employ your diplomatic muscle. That's why we have diplomacy. Talk, dialogue, until when you reach a consensus. It has happened in Mali, it is happening in Burkina Faso, it will happen in Guinea. So I tend to think, yes, they have imposed sanctions to send a clear message that we are not going to support any military officer who, out of his own whims, takes the decision to overthrow a legitimate government, a government that was elected through the ballot box. No, we must preserve the major pillars of good governance: respect the rule of law, respect the Constitution, preserve the Constitution, and live by your oath of office. That is intolerable. Coups and coups cannot be accepted in Africa. The Charter of ECOWAS does not provide that room. The Charter of African Union does not provide that room. Peaceful change of government is what we go for. Governments are changed democratically through credible, fair, and free elections, not otherwise.
Thank you, sir. That leads us to the next question. Now, I want to ask this question. For tourists that want to visit Tanzania, and for investors, considering the natural endowments in Tanzania, if someone wants to go to Tanzania for a visit as tourists, or investors, or people that are looking for greener pasture, how easy is your visa, and what are the investment opportunities in Tanzania?
Let me start with the investment opportunities.
I know that's your area.
And that's why we are here.
Yes, I know.
At the heart of Tanzania's foreign policy is economic diplomacy strategy. So we are here, apart from our mundane responsibilities, we are here to make sure that we attract investors, people with capital, to invest in Tanzania. We are here to promote tourism. We want to convince Nigerians and other people in the areas of our representation to choose Tanzania as their tourist destination. And then we want to promote trade, bilateral trade between Tanzania and countries in the area of our representation, so that products that are produced in Tanzania find market in Nigeria, and Nigerian products find market in Tanzania. Those are the three components of Tanzania's economic diplomacy. Now, when it comes to visa, when you intend to go for the purpose of tourism, investment, and trade, we are readily available to assist. At the moment, we are implementing a referral visa policy. But when you are going there for specific reasons related to our economic diplomacy, to trade, tourism, and investment, the embassy here is all out to process the visa. We are at the moment reviewing our visa policy. Anytime this year, I think there will be a reverse, so that Nigerians are not subjected to referral visa. They get visa on arrival. People who have invested in Tanzania, they get macro visa. People who are in tourism business, they get visa without any hitch, any constraints. We are working on that, and that is one of my major concerns. But I am aware, I've been involved, the government is reviewing its visa policy at the moment. we want to extend our visa policy, much as Nigerians did in 2020. We're going to have 60, 70 categories of visa, so that we promote free movement of people, free movement of services and goods. And that is at the heart of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, that we should have a focus on intra-African trade. We have gained independence, yes, political independence, but Africa has never promoted the intra-African cooperation the way it should be. So under the umbrella of African Continental Free Trade Agreement, I think we're going to move a step further. In Tanzania today, we are proud of Nigerians who have so far extended their capital to Tanzania. We are grateful to Alhaji Aliko Dangote. He has a huge, massive cement factory in Tanzania. I think the investment is more than $1,000 billion. We have Tony Elumelu. He has invested in the financial sector. The United Bank for Africa has branches in Tanzania. We have Sahara Group. They have a lot of oil tank storage facilities in Tanzania. And we are proud of GT Bank. They have also invested in the financial sector. So we are even here to attract more investors with the capital. And that's why my interactions with Nigerians revolves around those with the capital to be able to invest in Tanzania. Nigeria has a rich people, has the richest people on the African continent. Nigeria is rich. When I go at the airport in Lagos, Namdi Azikiwe, I have never seen a country where you have about 200 plus private jets. And that is a plus. So we are here to attract new investors to invest in Tanzania. We are here to encourage Nigerians who like to travel. I normally, right now, by October, a team of about, a congregation of about 150 people will be traveling to Zanzibar for a wedding from Nigeria.
Okay.
So we would like to promote tourism as much as we can. And that's why we are here.
Even we will bring people for you to invest in. We will bring people for you.
Yes. Diplomatic visitors have been doing the same. I have traveled the way when I travel to Port Harcourt, Akwa Ibom, Kano, Kaduna, Lagos, Enugu. The purpose of my visit is always to encourage investors. And we are making headway.
So what about do you have study visa for Nigerians that want
to? Yes. We have a lot of Nigerians who are studying in Tanzania. We have a lot at the University of Dar es Salaam. And at the moment, since I arrived, as you know, Kiswahili, the home of Kiswahili language is Tanzania. So I look at the people in Nigeria. You don't have a common language. In Tanzania, we have a common language, Kiswahili. Each and everybody speaks Kiswahili. Wow. And I say, aha, this is an African role model country. Why can't we introduce Kiswahili? So we have made some headways. We have facilitated the collaboration between the University of Port Harcourt with the University of Dar es Salaam in terms of teaching Swahili. They will be exchanging programs, students, lecturers, and research facilities. We have also linked up the University of Abuja and the State University of Zanzibar. They have already signed a memorandum of understanding to collaborate in academics, in research, consultants, exchanging students and staff. And we have also facilitated a collaboration between the University of Ibadan and the University of Dar es Salaam, focusing on Swahili teaching. So the University of Ibadan, the University of Abuja, and the University of Port Harcourt, they will be starting Kiswahili programs. So with time, I understand Kiswahili will be spoken in Nigeria. And at the moment, the embassy is collaborating with the Voice of Nigeria. The Voice of Nigeria staff, as we speak today, about 27 of them, they are pursuing Swahili studies. They are learning Swahili, and the embassy is taking the lead. We are facilitating Swahili. Wow. And we had also the opportunity to teach Kiswahili to the Nigeria Export Promotion Council staff.
Okay.
Yes, about 50 of them. Those who get the opportunity to go and participate in the international trade exhibition in East Africa, they learned Kiswahili from us. So, and we are in the move to introduce Kiswahili clubs in Lagos, in Ibadan, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja, in Kano, in Kaduna, given time. So, at the cultural diplomacy level, we are on the right footing.
Yeah. So, Madam President, what is the economic condition of Tanzania, considering the natural endowments? That's number one question. The other question is, we have a superstar, talking about entertainment now, we have a superstar in Tanzania, which we respect here in Nigeria, was Diamond Platinum. Yeah, so he's a friend to Nigerians. I call him the diplomatic superstar because he collaborates with most Nigerian artists. So do you still have other superstars like that, like Diamond, like maybe those of them in sports, apart from entertainment? Do you have stars like that?
Yeah, not as many as Nigerians. Yes, we have Diamond, we have Kiva, we have a number, but they are not as much as Nigeria has. I was looking about three weeks ago in the Guinness Book. Nigerians appear enormously. We haven't reached that stage. But we are struggling.
Are they learning from Nigerians to be there?
And in Tanzania, we admire the Nigerian films. We admire them very much. If you go to household, to many households during the evening, people are watching Nigerian films. And of course, we also admire Nigerians because you fear God. You fear God.
Yeah.
Tanzanians would come to Nigeria for to worship. They used to come to TB Joshua. I have a team of my members of parliament, about 2 or 3. They are Dynamis.
Dynamis, yeah.
Yes, they are there at the moment. Yes, they are leaving tomorrow for the South. They have been there for the second week. So this is another thing that I admire in Nigeria. You are God-fearing people. Be it Muslim, Christians. I received the president of Christian Association of Nigeria last week. Daniel.
Yeah.
He was here with me. We discussed a lot, and they are establishing a congregation in Tanzania. So that is one way of promoting cultural diplomacy, which will in turn take the Tanzania-Nigeria bilateral ties to great heights. But your first question was
the economic situation of Tanzania.
The economic situation. We have free land. We have plenty of land.
Okay.
Plenty of investment opportunities in the manufacturing sector, in the agricultural sector, in the oil and gas industry, in developing beaches, sports facilities, real estate, mineral mining, you name it. We have got all those facilities, and I think I'll ask my assistant to give you the brochures, which really tell the Nigerians investment opportunities and incentives that are provided by Tanzania to external investors. And we have been sending missions of Nigerians who wants to invest in Zanzibar and on Tanzania mainland. Several. Last November, I think we had a team of about 40. They all traveled to Tanzania to explore the investment opportunity. And we have a one-stop shop for investors, the Tanzania Investment Center. You go there within 2 or 3 weeks, you have finished everything. And if you can read even in the good words that are said by investors who have already properties in Tanzania, they are very attractive. Look at what Dangote says. He's now like our ambassador in attracting investors to Tanzania. So we have got a good experience. We have got a good experience. Success stories are told by the investors who have already invested in Tanzania. And Tanzania and Nigeria relations, they date back during the days of Nnamdi Azikiwe and the father of our nation, they shared a lot of values, a lot of commonalities when it came to promoting Pan-Africanism, decolonizing Africa, and struggling against apartheid in South Africa. They shared quite a lot, and that's why Tanzania and Nigeria bilateral relationship is excellent. I can say it's excellent. We share a lot, especially when it comes to matters of national interest. We are all struggling to have a review of our debts in international financial institutions. We share Nigeria's positions. We support Nigeria when it feels a candidate in international institutions like WTO, African Development Bank. We share a lot. I can say our bilateral ties are really strong. They are very strong. And Tanzania has a lot. When it comes, we have land more than you do. You know, the area of Tanzania, in terms of square kilometers, is bigger than the area of Nigeria.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. And our population, maybe I should also correct this, our population according to the 2022 census is about 62 million people at the moment. 62 million people. Okay. So we're almost, I don't know, a quarter of Nigeria's population, I don't know. You haven't have a national census.
Some people say 200 million people, 210 million with those.
Yeah, we did. But what's important is the quality of your population.
Yes.
I haven't been in the countryside, but the quality of Nigerian population is superb. Superb. And that's why I say I envy you for investing hugely in human capital.
Thank you so much. So, as the ambassador of Tanzania to Nigeria, what is your relationship with other ambassadors in Nigeria, other ambassadors of other nations to Nigeria?
Oh, yeah. The relationship was very, very good. Let me start with African diplomatic group. We have a group which brings together all ambassadors and high commissioners from all African countries. We meet, we have a WhatsApp group, we share ideas, we know what's happening in different countries of Africa, and we have a SADC group, which is vibrant, terrific. We are 8 ambassadors, we have a group, and on the 17th, we will be visiting one orphanage home to support the children in need. Together, we have contributed resources. The SADC group works better, and we share a lot. We learn together. We share experiences. We exchange knowledge. Issues of mutual interest we discuss together. Sometimes we hold common positions. We invite well-placed Nigerians to address us on matters of common interest, things like that. And of course, we have the East African diplomatic group. It's also vibrant, it's functioning. We meet regularly, we exchange experiences, we exchange knowledge, and we share a lot of issues that are of mutual interest. So when it comes to relationship with other ambassadors, the Tanzania High Commission is number 1.
Thank you so much. Now, before the last question, I want to ask you this question. You want Nigerians to invest in Tanzania. Why are you not encouraging Tanzania to invest in Nigeria? That's number 1. Number 2, when we were coming in, we saw products of made in Tanzania. Are you importing those products to Nigeria for Nigerians to consume? Then how far have you gone about the promotion of those products? Excellent.
Yes, I am attracting Nigerians to consider investing in Tanzania, and it will indeed invest in Tanzania. As I said before, Nigeria is richer.
Okay.
If I take the list from Forbes and take the number of Nigerian billionaires, you have got several billionaires. In Tanzania, we may not have more than 7 billionaires. In Tanzania, in Nigeria, you are talking about thousands of billionaires. And as I said, they think big. They go out. When I travel to Ghana, retail and wholesale business is in the hands of Nigerians. You explore the world. You are mobile. Tanzanians are not as mobile as Nigerians. I said there are about 25 million Nigerians in diaspora. In Tanzania, we don't exceed 1 million. So, in terms of capital, financial capital, in terms of people who can export capital to elsewhere, are Nigerians. And Europe or the whole of Western Africa, Nigeria is our powerhouse when it comes to investments. You have resources, you have oil, you have invested heavily in human capital, people who can invest even in Europe, people who can even contest for leadership positions in America and Canada. I know some countries from the Middle East, from UK, Canada, UK, they come to Nigeria for doctors. So, the question, why are we attracting more Nigerians? No, that has a foundation. But why? We also encourage well-positioned Tanzanians to consider investing in West Africa. We do that. But as we speak, yes, some people do sell their products here, but we haven't attracted investors from Tanzania to invest in Nigeria. Why? Because of several factors, and the major one being the connectivity, transportation. We don't have, for instance, direct flights at the moment from the Tanzanian cities to Nigerian cities. If you are traveling to Tanzania, it's Ethiopian Airlines. From Abuja or Lagos to Addis Ababa to Dar es Salaam. OKQ, Kenya Airways, from Lagos to Nairobi to Dar es Salaam. Or Rwanda Air, from Abuja, Accra to Kigali to Dar es Salaam. So, but at the moment, Tanzania has made several strands. We have revived our nation flag carrier. Air Tanzania Corporation, in 2015, it had only one airplane. But as we speak, we have 12 state-of-the-art aircraft, Airbuses, Boeing, which are now opening the skies of Tanzania and exploring the skies of other African countries. In the near distant future, we will have direct flights by Air Tanzania from Dar es Salaam or Kilimanjaro to Lagos and Abuja. Wow. That is in the process. At the moment, we acquired a freighter, a Boeing freighter, a 54-ton carriage capacity airplane, a Boeing. It was delivered about 3 months ago. It has started ferrying goods from China to Dar es Salaam, Dubai to Dar es Salaam, Egypt, and elsewhere. The next destination is Lagos. It's Lagos. I think plans are underway to facilitate its arrival in Lagos. It will connect easily products that are produced in Nigeria to find a market in Tanzania, and Tanzanian products to find a market in Nigeria. It will be a direct flight, direct from Dar es Salaam to Lagos, Lagos to Dar es Salaam. So we are encouraging Nigerians who are producing, wherever they are producing, catfish, you name it, to be prepared to use that facility to explore and benefit from the Tanzanian market, a market of about 62 million people. And for Tanzanians to also export their products to the Nigerian market, a market of about 220 million people. So that is one. Your second question was
the products. So your products.
Yeah, we have a number of products which are readily available in Nigeria, and they have the potential of getting market. Size of products. I know you like decorating houses. People are importing siso, processed siso ropes from Tanzania. And we have the fair market in Nigerian market. Nigerians want to eat spicy food.
Yes.
And the Zanzibar is the home of spices. And then we have wines. I don't know. Nigerians buy wines from Tanzania, but I'm not sure whether those wines find a market in Nigeria.
All they are 4 streets. What are those wines?
The wines, I'll show you the same.
Okay.
We have so many. Dodoma wines.
Okay.
Dodoma
wines. Okay.
Yes. And then
they will drink wine so much.
Yes, we have coffee.
Okay.
Nigerians want coffee, Tanzanian coffee. We had a market in Lagos. I don't know nowadays. So there are, and we have minerals. They can find Tanzanite. Tanzanite is a rare mineral which is only found in Tanzania. So Nigerians want to look smart. Jewelry, they can go for that. And as time goes on, we're going to explore other Tanzanian products which are required, which are needed in Nigeria.
Oh, thank you, sir. The last question, as the representative of the United Republic of Tanzania, do you have any program, like educational programs, entrepreneurship programs, Get Child program, youth development and empowerment, or support for the youth? Do you have anything like that?
We have several, especially programs that are aimed at promoting the youth in entrepreneurship, people with disabilities, the women. We have several programs, and we set aside budget.
And considering the fact that your president is a woman.
Yes, yeah, but we have that program long ago. So we have special programs for empowering women. We set aside all local governments. They are compelled to set 10% of their revenue to help women, youth, people with disabilities, access those funds to open up small and medium-term enterprises. That is at the central level and at the local government level. We have specific programs, specific budget to empower the youth, the women, and the people with disabilities. And at the moment, we have also a program to encourage graduates, university graduates, to invest in agriculture. We have set aside billions of shillings to help them engage in commercial agriculture. We have now doing pilot studies, but after we have got success stories, success lessons, we're going to spread it out all over the country. I think at the moment they have been given seed capital and land and the other agricultural facilities and farm implements to invest in agriculture. People after graduating, they just walk from office to office with their brown envelopes and certificates, searching for jobs. We are saying no. Agriculture is our mainstay of the economy, and it's going to employ a lot of people, agriculture and livestock. So we have specific programs to empower some of the groups which we consider potential for future economic development of the country.
Thank you, sir. As an ambassador, we are promoting global peace. What can you say about the word peace in just 30 seconds? Word peace.
I mean, as human beings, we are not born to be adversaries. We are not born to be enemies of each other. All the institutions that we have created, right from the United Nations, the African Union, ECOWAS, East African Community, SADC, our first priority is to promote and preserve the peace. Without peace, other activities that are geared at developing our countries cannot take place. So peace is our first priority. Peace is our first priority. If you ask me, what should be the priority of Africa? I should say peace, peace, peace. Because if you live in peace and harmony, you are likely to promote other development ventures.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. My name is Benson Bana. High Commission of the United Republic of Tanzania to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I keep watching Diplomatic World TV, a TV that promotes global peace. We appreciate the good work that Diplomatic World TV is doing in terms of promoting global peace and the mutual coexistence world over.